All right, today we are diving into something I think you'll find fascinating. It's called the game of eyes. You know that feeling, right? That nagging suspicion when someone's looking you straight in the eye, but what they're saying just feels off. Your gut is screaming that something's wrong, even if you can't put your finger on it. It's frustrating, and honestly, it can make you feel kind of powerless. Well, what if I told you there's a way to get a much better read on those situations? Today, we're going to explore this popular theory, the game of eyes. The whole idea is that you can actually start to decode how the brain is working just by watching where someone's eyes go. Okay, so let's get right into it. The best way to think about this is like a game, the deception game. Imagine their eyes are like a chessboard. Every little glance, every flick of the eye, that's a move. And if you know the rules of the game, you can start to see the strategy behind what they're saying. So, in any game, you have to know your first move, right? And here's the thing. Before you can even think about spotting a lie, you first have to know what the truth looks like. We're going to call this the recall move. It's all about seeing honesty in action. And this is the core of it, the big tell. The theory goes that for most right-handed folks, when they're genuinely trying to remember something, there's this unconscious little reflex. Their eyes glance up and to their left. People who follow this call it the truth teller's glance. It's a potential sign that they're digging into their brain's filing cabinet for a real memory. Now, this isn't just some random nervous twitch. The whole idea is actually rooted in neurology. When we're pulling up a real memory, our brain is basically accessing a pre-existing file, right? And that look, that glance up and to the left, it's like the physical sign of our eyes searching that internal hard drive. All right, so we've got the truth tellers move down. Let's head over to the other side of the chessboard. It's time to learn the counter move, what we're calling the liar's gambit. This is all about how to spot when a story is being invented, right there on the spot. So here it is, the complete opposite. The theory says that when someone is creating information, making something up, their eyes will tend to drift up and to their right. Think of it as a physical tell that their brain has switched into creative mode, not memory mode. And just like before, there's a neurological reason for this, or at least that's the theory. The brain supposedly uses a totally different pathway when it's being creative versus when it's just recalling a fact. So when someone is spinning a tale, they're not searching for an old file, they're building a new one from scratch. And that glance to the right, that's the supposed signal that construction is underway. Okay, let's just put these two moves side by side so it's crystal clear. On one side, you've got the recall. Eyes go up and to the left. That's accessing a stored memory, a potential sign of truth. On the other side, the gambit. Eyes go up and to the right. That's constructing a new story, a potential red flag. Now, is this 100% foolproof? Of course not, but this is the basic framework of the game. So, let's make this real. Imagine you ask someone this classic, high-stakes question. Their answer matters a lot. But that tiny split-second movement their eyes make before a single word comes out of their mouth, that could be the whole story right there. But what if you see that glance to the right and you're thinking, I'm not totally sure? Well, now it's time for a pro move. This is what we'll call the ultimate truth test. And it's all about using a little bit of psychological pressure to see what happens next. And it's super simple, just 4 steps. Step 1, ask that direct question. Step 2, watch for that very first eye movement, left or right. Step 3, and this is the magic ingredient, use a strategic pause. Don't say anything, just hold eye contact. And finally, step 4, watch where their eyes go during that silence. So why does this work? Because silence is powerful. It creates pressure. A person telling the truth will usually glance back to the left again, trying to dig up more real details to give you. But someone telling a lie, they get really uncomfortable in that silence. And you might see their eyes dart back to the right again and again, as they're scrambling to build more parts of their story to fill that awkward quiet. Okay, so now you have the basic rules of the game, and even an advanced technique. But look, just like with chess or anything else, you're not going to be a grandmaster overnight. This is a skill, and it really does get better with practice. So let's just do a super quick recap of the game plan. The core idea is truth tellers tend to look up and to the left to recall a memory. Liars, on the other hand, tend to look up and to the right to construct a story. The pro move, use that strategic pause to add a little pressure. And my best advice is to just start practicing with low-stakes questions. Talk to your friends, your family. The payoff is pretty cool because once you see these patterns, you kind of can't unsee them. And that's really it. That's the game of eyes. It's a simple idea, but it can be a really powerful lens for trying to understand what's happening behind the words. So the only question I have for you is, ready to play?